Sisters Orphan School in Kingsley.
Okay, good morning everyone, and thank you very much for coming. What you're standing here, you're standing in the boys' dormitory, and down here would be the dining area. Okay, they did not cook the food here, they cooked it in another part of the campus, but they brought it over here for the boys. And what they would do, because my understanding is they would form a line outside, come in through the door, and they had, on the other side of this wall, they had a spot where they could go through with their trays and get their food, and they come in here and sit down. Okay, now come on in, come on in, come on in. The pass-through right there, okay? They would come in through that door right there, all right, pass through here, get their food, and that was like a staging area to get the food ready, okay? Like a kitchenette type thing. Like I said, the food was not prepared here, it was prepared in another part of the building, and they would bring it over here, and they would go through this pass-through to get their food.
And they would eat in the other side.
No, it would be over on that side there. They would eat over there. That was like a staging area.
Oh, I thought they ate in there.
Oh, really?
Yes, that's what I thought. That was the dining room.
Okay.
I could be wrong.
Well, I always thought it was a staging area for the food.
And there's some of the hooks there. They all, evidently, they all had a number.
Oh, yeah, you see the numbers on there.
I thought that was the 8 over
No,
there.
that's why they passed the food through here, because that was a staging area for passing it through.
Oh, well.
That's a loom down there? No, she does loom work here. Is that
Yes,
from
this
that
is
area?
That's been donated to us.
This is a loom. This is from the 20s, okay? This was actually owned by my brother-in-law's grandmother. And he was cleaning out the house, and he donated to this. This is a throw rug like. That was his grandmother actually made.
Rag rugs.
Yeah, like a rag rug, exactly. Yes, yes.
So this building dates from what year?
1832.
1832. Wow.
Okay.
Has much changed since then? Did they add on to it or anything?
Well, there was 2 buildings at one time. Okay. They brought them together at one point to make one building.
Okay.
This here was one section, and the other section was another. That other room was another building, but they brought them together to make one.
And that part's older.
That's older.
Older over there, okay.
All right.
Very good, very good.
Okay. Remnants of a water pipe back in the early 1800s. If you were to look at the very end, you'll see where see the pipe, see the hole?
Oh,
it was
yeah.
bored right
Wow.
through there. Now this is a taper to fit that in there, see? And that's how they would run water sometimes.
Very interesting.
You like ever hear the old cistern pumps and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Gravity pumps? Oh yes, that's how they used to. Think that's something? It's intriguing.
Interesting, yes.
Yes?
Could have running water.
Yeah, well, lead on.
There was over here you will see a treadmill type device they used to power various things. They would put maybe a small animal, say a calf or a cow or a goat or something like that, and there they would hook it up to maybe grind your corn or whatever.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. And over on the back part there, you'll see various tools like those big spools, which you would call spoons. They were for like melting lead and what have you. Okay, and that big piece on the front there looks, or at the top there with the big hooks onto it for like hauling ice or carrying a log.
Yeah. What would this device
That
be right
piece
here?
here, I'm still trying to figure out. I would like to know what that is.
Be a water wheel?
It could be a water wheel, small one.
I never saw one of these devices though. That's a small animal would stand on there
Yep, exactly.
to power it.
Exactly, you know, and power it. Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
What year would that date from?
Well, good question. That probably mid 1800s.
Wow. You ever see anything like that?
Yeah, I
You have?
have seen this, but I mean in pictures, but I've never seen it.
School.
A small room in the back. That was more or less like a washroom before the boys get washed up. And of course, they don't wash up very often as far as like bathing and stuff like that. And that was like once a week or so. If you go back there, you'll see the floors you can see where some of it's like been bothered with the water and what have you. From the splashing around. Actually, I think it's better shape than this here, but there was some spots here and there where you could see.
I can see where it dips down there.
Yep, yep.
Wow.
But this was like a washroom for the boys to get clean. I guess they'd come in there, they have the wash basins and what have you. Mm-hmm. Okay? You'll see, before this was an orphan school, this was Franklin Academy. It was a little bit better than your regular grade school they had at the time. Mm-hmm. Grade school was a one-room schoolhouse. They only went so many years, and the education was bare minimum. Wow. This place here provided a little bit better education for the children that wish to come here. Wow. Okay, here they would get maybe trigonometry and maybe Latin. They would learn a little bit of Latin, what have you. They would have a more rounded education. Right. Follow me?
Yep.
Now, this guy here is one of our most notable persons. That is Galusha Grow. He was founder of the Homesteaders Act.
Yes, I've heard of him. Okay,
he knew Lincoln. Okay, and he served down there in the White House and all that other stuff. I ain't gonna tell you a whole lot more. I'm just gonna leave you a little bit so people could maybe maybe look him up a little bit.
Yes.
And this is one of the founders. His last name is Richardson. He is one of the guys that started this. And of course, that's just that was a family member. Okay. Behind it, we passed it. If you look at it, you'll see a big picture. You will see that most of those people are older folks, I believe. I think that's the reunion. They closed this place in 1905. They were done with orphan school because the attendance had dropped. Of course, most of the kids were pretty much older. But what happened is they had a reunion in the 20s. They brought back a number of the old students that went here, and they had a reunion. And that's what that's all about.
Wow.
Yep. This is where they had the food and everything.
This is the dining hall that you'd call it, I guess?
Yeah, this whole building was the dining hall. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that's what this was like a staging kitchen. Like, they might have ate in here a little bit, but I do believe that from what I read and what I understand, that this was like a kitchenette type thing.
Mm-hmm. And this would be the original boards and everything?
Yes. The lighting, that was added in like the turn of the century.
Yeah.
The Grange took the building over and they added the electric to it. And that's the old, what they call the tongue and
knob and tube.
Knob and tube.
Knob and tube wiring, yeah.
Exactly.
And it's still live today.
Oh yeah. We had to make sure it was okay.
Yeah.
Because we didn't want to do away with it.
No, I know.
We want to try to keep some of that.
Yes.
The history of the building, the progressing.
Absolutely.
Yes. That out. I really am. I haven't decided whether that's something to do with carding. You know what carding is?
No.
Fleece.
Okay.
To work with fleece.
Okay.
I'm not sure whether it's something to do with that. That's what reminds me of a drum carver.
Yeah, it does.
Fleece. So when you take your fleece off the animal, you gotta go through it, take it, untangle it, get rid of some of like the feces that are on it, the hasty that might be stuck in it.
Yep.
They use carding.
Okay.
They call it carding. And then carding mills. That's what they used to call them. And they used to work it. Okay.
Excellent.
See this piece here? That is like a drill press.
Okay.
Like your old beams and stuff like that, your old square. That's what this is all about. This right here, you would set it in place, set up your angle, and start cranking. And it's got to crank on this way and crank on this way, and this would drop down as you were drilling. This was the upstairs dormitory. This is the sleeping quarters for all the boys that were here. In the corner, you will see there's a little cubicle. And that is what each boy had throughout this whole upstairs part of the building here. Each boy had a cubicle, and that's where their personal belongings and what have you was. Okay, they had a bed. This is one of the beds. Okay.
That's an original bed too?
That's original bed.
An original cubicle?
Yep, this is original cubicle.
Now, this is called Orphan School. These boys were, their fathers were killed in the war?
Well, most of them, a lot of the fathers were killed in the war, but some of them were crippled to a point they couldn't work.
Yeah.
They lost a limb, or you know, only now we know the effects of war. Even
bet.
if someone came back all together,
Yeah,
there
that's
was
true.
still something messed up in their head, so they weren't
Yeah.
able to care
Yeah.
for their children. So as a result, they would come here. They would.
You can tell it's old, a low ceiling.
Yeah. Now, this here, lost my train of thought. I'm sorry. Came on. They were able. They came here about 5, 6 years old, and at the age of 16, they were done.
Okay.
At the age 16, they were cut off.
Oh, wow.
But by then, you stop and think about it. 16, you probably pretty much considered an adult back then.
They even fought in the war at that age too.
Exactly, exactly. Here they were taught various things. They did, they did some drills. And girls they did all kinds of different things here. If you want to look around
Yeah, absolutely. Now, this was mainly boys in here?
all boys here.
All boys,
They had
okay.
a girls' dormitory across the road.
We're gonna walk over there after. Very interesting. These are pictures of some of the people who
Yes.
were here?
Yes, yes. Well, this guy here, Harry Shannon, was quite the photographer. It was a hobby of his, like what you have here. And he took a lot of pictures. And this is some of his works.
Wow, nice, very nice.
Yes.
So they date back, way back.
Late 1800s, early 1900s.
And from glass negatives, yeah,
Yep,
that's old.
yep,
That's
yep,
real old.
yep.
1866 Bible, wow.
Interesting thing right here. There was a President Harding out of Ohio back in the turn of the century, 1900.
Yeah,
See the name Harding?
yeah.
Well, his family was from here. He passed through here as a boy, lived here for a short spell, then his family moved on to Ohio,
Really?
where he finished growing up,
Yeah.
and later on became president.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so President Harding has ties to
Has
this
ties to
area.
this area.
Exactly.
Nice.
You'd be surprised the politicians and people that went through here. you
Yes.
see. And it's a stupid little,
Uh-huh.
quiet little area, you know?
Section here we're in now, and we're going into the newer one with the higher ceiling.
Yep.
What year was this newer section put on?
Probably wasn't too shortly afterwards. Probably in the 40s, maybe 50s.
And these buildings, is this what it looked like here?
This is the campus right here. That's what it
okay.
That's what it amounted to. All right. This barn and this house is down below.
They're still around?
Still around, yeah. The people were just here that own it. They live in the house.
What building are we in right now?
That building right over there in that corner, right there.
The one in the
That
back.
one over there.
We're in that
See
building
those?
right now.
See
okay.
the taller.
Yes, we're in the taller section
Taller
right now.
section, probably right between those two windows, right there on that
Okay.
first floor.
Now,
So-
across the street, I did notice signs, probably foundations of
Yep,
some of these
yep,
other
all
buildings.
these other buildings, yep. Everything's pretty much there, the buildings.
Very nice.
Or foundations.
You guys did a good job putting this together, making these buildings.
This is right to scale.
Right to scale and
Yep.
what they exactly look like.
Yep.
How did you get the, did you have pictures of these?
Well, they did a lot of research and processing all this and putting it together, the measurements and all.
And that barn and house is still there. That's really
Yeah.
interesting.
No.
That was an outhouse right there?
Yeah, that was the boys' trivia. This is the girls' trivia over here.
Okay.
Okay?
What building okay, the guys were in this building where we're at
The
now.
girls were over here, so one of these buildings
One of these
here.
buildings here. And they were the same age too, from 5 up until
Yes.
16?
Yes.
Yeah, usually by 16 a lot of them would be married, I would bet.
Well, not necessarily here. It's really ironic. If you remember back in school, they had this no no conjugal, you couldn't even hold your girlfriend's hand
Yes.
or anything like that.
Yeah.
But here was really ironic because they had dances here and they would tell the boys,
Really?
pick your best girl and bring her to the dance. So they were encouraging the boys to invite the girls.
Yeah.
Okay? But you got to stop and think about the times and the fact that a lot of these kids had nobody.
That's true, yeah. Orphans. They're orphans.
Pretty much orphans,
Yeah.
okay? Their folks gave them up, but pretty much washed their hands of them, you might say.
Yeah.
Okay?
Uh-huh.
So, I mean,
Very, very interesting.
this here is an actual outfit of what the boys wore. This is a reproduction, okay? The same color, everything. So this is what the boys would wear. Now the girls would wear similar to what these two mannequins got on.
And probably a lot of them were that size too, because weren't they smaller back then?
They
A lot
were
of the-
small, yeah.
Yeah, the men and the boys smaller.
yeah.
Nutrition probably.
Yeah.
But these are actual old vests that date back to that.
Yep.
And these are some of the irons and
Yeah, this would give you,
utensils and stuff.
yeah,
what
give
they
you,
used.
this is give you an idea what, a kitchen might be or household items of the day would be.
And they use all these items in here because obviously
Yeah.
they had to cook and everything.
Yeah.
Very nice. And
Now,
over here,
very interesting here. You look at this little item. This is really, really cool here. I'd like to show you this here. Now, you look at this and right away, what comes to mind?
it's a stove. It's a coal and
Yes, but what does that, the size of it, what would you think it's for?
is it a toy?
No.
It's not a toy. Okay.
Exactly. That's what I'm asking you because 90% of the time, people would think, oh, that's a cute little toy for a girl. No, it's not a toy. This was, like back in the day, they had these mercantile shops, these dry goods stores.
Yeah.
And something new would come out, and they'd have their people come through, like the people that were peddling to the stores,
Right.
say, hey, look it, I got this. And they would break this out of their satchel and show them, so, wow, that's a pretty nice stove. Yeah, you want one of these to put on your counter? And you take orders. So they would place that near it, okay? Then Fred from down the road would come in to pick up a few supplies, and he would see that. So, that's a pretty nice cook stove. That would sure be cooking that old thing we got now.
Yeah.
And he said, well, how much it would be? He said, well, gee, they tell him how much it was. He said, well, you know what? I'll have to send the missus into town. You know, she's going to need some stuff pretty shortly. So she would say, yeah, I need that stove.
It was used to advertise it. I guess it worked good, yeah.
They would advertise,
Wow.
this was an advertisement piece,
Yeah.
and they would order one up, and they would buy the train, and they would come by.
And it's obviously made out of cast iron. too,
Yeah.
right?
Well,
No
that's
plastic back then.
actually, yeah, that's actually cast iron. Go ahead and try it. See how heavy that
Yes,
little
it
thing
is,
is?
yeah.
Yeah. But this is a little miniature, like a production of what
That
they
they
could
used to
buy.
advertise,
for
yes.
this, you
Wow.
know, so that's what that's all about. It's pretty interesting.
Nice,
isn't it?
yeah. Now, would that be a doctor's bag here?
Yeah, this is a doctor's bag. You know, it don't have any goodies in there, but that's what they would have. You know, the doctors when they would
Yeah,
make their
yeah,
house calls, they would carry that along with them.
Very nice.
Well, that's that Galusha Grow.
Galusha Grow, yeah, I've seen signs on the road for him. I think he's buried in that cemetery up near Hartford, I think.
Yeah, right here, yeah.
Yeah. And here we're looking at more plates that date from back then.
There's a mixture of here from 1800s all the way up into the early 20s, 1920s and such. I try to keep it 1800s.
Yeah, very, very nice. And this would be a girl's uniform?
Yes.
Yeah, I never saw one like that. It's nice.
No, that's a military uniform for girls. This is newer.
And this would be what era? Maybe
That's World War II, I believe.
two? Okay. Very nice museum. There's some trophies here. Is that local sports?
Yeah, local sports from back in the day.
Nice.
This is what you call a cobbler's bench, the majority of this. A cobbler's bench is someone that fixes shoes. A lot of times back in the day, you can go out and just buy a pair of shoes. Although they did have them, but they would, a lot of times they had someone that would come to these farms and say, I had 6 children. The guy would say, you got any shoes to repair? He'd say, well, I got a whole family. So the guy would set up shop right there in the yard and start fixing or making shoes right there on the spot.
I never knew that. They came to the house
A
and do
lot of
that.
them did, yes.
I guess if you had a lot of people in the household too, that would work out good.
Well, they had a lot of stuff like that, you know, like I said too. Probably these more populous areas, like I said, Susquehanna, they
Yeah.
had shoe shops there where you can go and
Right.
get stuff made or fixed there. But when you talk about these outer areas where no one left the farm for weeks on end,
Yeah.
you know, you got to tell them maybe once a month.
Yeah. More artifacts in the. These clocks too probably date way back.
Yeah, they're pre-1900.
1880 on this one here.
Yep. This is 1890 right here. Over there, that's what they had as for sidewalks. They used wood, so this gives you an idea what they used back in the day to keep from walking on the mud. They didn't use stone. They used this here.
This kind of wood here.
Yep, it's wood here. Yep. And what you see here, it might seem like a bunch of junk, but what happened here with this stuff here is the fact that guy out there, every now and then he'll cut a spot out and make a fire. Well, he would, like she was saying, he's been coming here 20, 25 years, and he would unearth something. And this is what he's unearthed over a period of time.
So this is stuff that was actually used by, yeah. Buttons it looks
Old
like.
buttons,
and,
yep.
Wow.
Any questions for Sean? But that was from turn of the century. I like the older stuff, you know. Yep. The rings back then wasn't really a common thing. They were made of, diamonds didn't come into play till the late 1920s, 1930s.
Yeah.
Before then, if you had a ring, it was just a wedding band. That was it.
Is that what they are, wedding bands?
I don't know whether they're wedding bands or what. I never really looked into them too much. Let me see, what's that say? Reach in there.
Artifacts found on the Franklin Academy property. It doesn't say anything about the.
See?
Oh, wow, nice.
Probably made of pewter or something like that.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Small, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably a girl's ring.
Yeah, I would bet.
Like, this is local.
Yeah.
Probably right here, way downstairs.
Old wallpaper.
Yeah.
The newspapers over here are found the insulation. It says right here that when they were renovating, they found the newspapers in the
Found that in here, wow.
insulation, which is amazing.
Old lat. way back downstairs and out across the street where some of the other buildings were.
She realizes.
Was that this?
6 Wisconsin of the Iron Brigade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you set up here every day that they're open? Or most?
Not all the time, but got pretty good attendance record. I've been setting up for these folks now for going on 25, 26 years.
Wow, nice, very nice.
But get the whole place to yourself.
Looking at where the foundation for the Susquehanna Hall was. Long gone.
Till the engine died on it.
And we're looking at the Columbia Hall
That's a 16 VW too, listen to that thing.
area on the other side of the street here was loaded with the buildings, just like we saw in the small display upstairs. They made the scale buildings very accurate, right to scale. And the whole other side of the road here probably had more buildings than this side.